Hey, so it's Jasmine here, and I'm just kind of going through a silk press tutorial with you guys on how I do it, my process. I wanted to do something different on my channel. I know I spend a lot of time talking to you all, so I just wanted to get into some activity here. So I'm going to go step by step on what I'm doing, and this is obviously the salon version, but you can do this at home. Just follow these steps and your silk press should come out just like mine. Take that hot road and hop in. So the brush that I'm using here is Heaven Sent. It is actually made for natural hair. It's designed specifically for natural hair, so there's no pulling, no tearing, and you can avoid a lot of breakage by using this brush. You always want to brush and detangle your hair while it's wet, starting at the ends and then working your way up. So you can see that's what I'm doing section by section. I know a lot of people get frustrated during the detangling process, and usually that's because you're not doing it section by section. You're using too big of sections when doing so, and so that will take more time. So start at the ends, work your way up, and be sure to work in smaller sections. We should be closer. All the products used in this video will be listed in the description box, and also the link to where you can find this brush at will also be in the description box, so be on the lookout for that. Take that hot road and hop in. Monarch butterflies, you should open up. I'm trying to put your heart together, found it broken up. Going up in smoke, smoking up. Make sure the children in the house, she's inappropriate. The way she's approaching us. So what I'm doing here is just, as you know, detangling, but also Bantu knotting the sections that I have already detangled. That just keeps it separated from the hair that I'll be working with next. So after you've detangled everything, you want to Bantu knot it, then start in the back section and begin to blow dry. Open up. Open you up like a Pokeball. Bantu knotting your sections also keeps the hair stretched. As many know, as soon as hair begins to dry in its natural state, it will shrink. So by Bantu knotting your hair, you will be able to get through it with the blow dryer a lot easier. So after applying a little bit of oil to each section, I go through with my blow dryer comb attachment and work through the hair to get it dry, starting at the ends. As always, that is your golden rule of thumb. Contemplation over our situation. Open up. You OPN. Bitch, you won't BBM. We should be closer. So as you can see, I'm stretching out the hair as I'm blow drying it, holding it at the ends, trying to keep that tension as I'm going through with the blow dryer. You always want to hold the hair in the direction that you would like for it to lay. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN. Take that hot road and hop in. Open up, open up. Shut it down like a Macintosh. Open up, open, open. So what I'm doing right now is taking some oil and just evenly distributing it through the hair. I used about a quarter size amount. Then I'm going to take my Denman brush and focus on the roots and make sure those are dry and prepped, ready for the flat iron. You want to make sure that your blow dry does most of the work. That's why you don't want to rush through it. Alright, so it's time to break out those irons. So what I'm doing here is the chase method. I'm taking a small rat tail comb and just chasing the comb with the flat iron. What that does, it just evenly distributes the amount of heat to each strand. But you don't want the comb to be too small because it can pull on the hair and cause breakage. Then, now I like to give the kitchen a little extra attention because as we know, that's where it needs it. So I generally go through this a little bit more than one pass just to make sure I'm getting those hairs really straight and getting them good. First impression. Okay, so you want your sections to be pretty thin. I like to use the example, if you put a newspaper under your section, could you still read the print? That's about as thin as you want your sections to be.
Take the high road and hop in. First impression, you OPN.
So the heat on my flat iron is at 450, and throughout the hair, as you can see, I'm only doing one pass. 450 should be good for most hair textures. If you find that it's just not getting straight, you might want to break out the hot comb. Anytime you're doing a silk press, of course you want to be using a heat protectant. Anytime you're using any kind of heat. So during the blow drying process, I've already added my oils and my heat protectant so that the hair is good to go.
She's closing up. Come to visit me, she say that she the loneliest, and it's hard to open up. Open you up like a Pokeball. Open up, tear you out for a Pokeball. Let your emotion waterfall on me. Open up. Open up.
Notice I am flat ironing the hair in the direction that I would like it to lay. That is very important.
Let your emotion waterfall on me. Open up. Open up. Need to deep breathe, heartache, complications.
So my client here wears a lot of protective styles, where it be sew-ins, braids, you name it. But one thing that is very important is staying up on your trims. It doesn't matter how many protective styles you put in that head. If you don't trim those ends, it's gonna break off. So I'm trimming her hair, but of course I'm saving and keeping the integrity of her length. I'm just focusing on deadening those ends.
The doors OPN. Take the high road and hop in. You OPN. Bitch, you won't BBM. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The doors OPN.
Am I the only person who doesn't believe in edge control? So I use hairspray because, as we know, with natural girls, edge control can curl it right on up and make it a hot mess. So I find that hairspray works a lot better. So after everything is straight, you just go back through with your flat iron and begin to style. This is where you add all your extra curls if the client wants that. You bump the ends and of course feather that bang.
You OPN, bitch, you won't BBM. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The doors OPN.
Alright, so we've come to the end of the video. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment. All the products will be listed below in the description box. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.